Hey everybody, Amy White from Worthy Written Words, and today I'm going to be my journaling edition wide margin Book of Mormon in 2 Nephi chapter 9. First thing what we're going to do is take some junk washi tape, meaning washi tape that you don't really care about just throwing away, and we are going to outline all of the scriptures on both sides of this layout so that when we are doing our paint, we don't cover up the words on accident. If you're really concerned about accidentally painting over words, you could cover up the entire scripture content by putting a piece of scrap paper inside and then the washi along the border. I'm adding another book underneath this one to give me some more support since it's at the beginning of the book, and I'm putting a piece of scrap paper behind my pages to protect my other pages while I add some clear gesso to this page. And we're going to do a light coat. You don't want to do it too thick, otherwise you're going to get brush strokes that show up funny when you are doing your wet media. So we are going to use a foam brush or a paintbrush and just cover this page with the clear gesso. Now I'm only doing the clear gesso in the margins of footnotes of this page. I'm not going over the scriptures, but you can do that before you put the washi tape on if you want to. It doesn't matter either way. In this case will work. And then you want to make sure that this is fully dry before we move on to the next step. So to make that faster, you can use a heated tool to dry the page, or you can let it air dry. Now we're going to use the black crayon that comes in your kit. Now this is a water soluble crayon, and we are going to go across the outside of our page, like the corners and the very edges of our page, and we're going to do this multiple times. But you can see right now I'm not doing it super thick. I'm just putting in like a random squiggle that we're going to fill in here now with some water. I'm using a water brush pen. A regular paintbrush with water will also work, and we're just smudging the wax from the crayon together, and it's going to turn it into a watercolor. And we're going to do this for the whole border that we've done with this black. And once we're done doing that, we're going to let the whole thing dry completely before we go on to the next step. So again, you can use a heated tool to let that dry, or you can use just let it air dry. Once that first layer is dry, then we're going to go over using the dark blue ultramarine crayon, and we're going to do the same thing we did before. We're just putting it closer in the inside of the page, and we're going to kind of be more sporadic about where we put it. This is kind of where what we're trying to do is we're going to go from the darkest of the edges, and then we're going to work our way inside. So with the second coat, I'm going back over the black again with another coat of black that I'm going to go over again with my water brush pen. And you can kind of blend the blue and the blacks together a little bit so that it even gives some of the blue in the black and some of the black in the blue. Also, I'm not a pro at watercolors, but doing a watercolor galaxy like this is one of the easiest things for beginners to do because there's not a whole lot of skill involved. And one thing that I do know about watercolors is you do want to add multiple coats because it does give your galaxy more dimension and more depth to it as opposed to one single layer. Now when that coat's dry, I'm going to go over the black again for a third time to try and continue to make it even more dark. And then I'm going to go over the dark blue as well again. If you want to just follow along and do what I do, that's great, or you can just kind of go with your own design and come up with your own way of doing it. But I'm just going to put some music on and you can follow this part. Now I'm going to add in some of this cobalt blue, and I'm going to put it in the white spots that don't have any color yet, as well as over some of the blue spots. And between the black and the blue, it's really random, but I'm going to try and help it to blend these all together. And I'm going to just go over that with the water brush pen. Now I'm going to bring the black up inside the blue, and this is just to kind of blend it all a little bit more, and then also just to make it all darker so it's more like dark space sky. If you don't like all of the black, you can skip this step and just leave it more blue. It's all dry. We're going to take our scrap paper from behind and cut 2 squares out of it that we're going to use to cover up the scriptures for this next part. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just kind of want a general protection from them as we're going to do the stars. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to get some white acrylic paint and some water and a paintbrush. And we are going to water that paint down just a little bit and then tap it on your page the way that you can see I'm doing it in this video. And the closer you get, then the more you'll have on there. The more paint you have on there, then the bigger your drops will be. And this is going to make kind of a mess. It gets all over my hands, all over my desk underneath, so just be prepared for that. Now we can remove the washi tape. When you start to peel this off of your scriptures, if it starts to rip the page in any way, then stop peeling it and go to the other end of the strip and peel from that end instead. And after we get these taken off of our page, you may find that some of the watercolors have seeped underneath a little bit, and that's okay. We're just going to take a paintbrush and a little bit of some white acrylic paint left over from our stars and just kind of touch those up a little bit. Now we're going to start with our stickers. The first thing that we're going to do is put our title at the top. And the way we do this is we start in the middle and work our way out. So that way we can make sure everything is spaced correctly and we're not just guessing on where to start. So first we do redemption of, plan the, and then we do salvation and happiness on the other side. Next, we're going to do the celestial, terrestrial, and telestial on the right-hand margins going down. Right side in the footnotes, we're going to put the spirit world sticker and the grave sticker above each other. Next, we're going to do the arrows, the ones that say body and spirit, that are pointing to the spirit world and the grave. So the spirit arrow points to the spirit world and the body arrow points to the grave. Now on the other side, I am starting this because I have an idea of where they're supposed to be spaced. So if you're not sure what to do, you can watch this part for a minute and then see where I space these next ones out. But it's the pre-existence, the veil of forgetfulness, the arrow that says birth and mortal life, the atonement of Jesus Christ, and then the sticker that says physical death. Now on the other side of the page, we're going to have 2 arrows, one pointing off of the spirit world and one pointing off of the gravestone. And then we're going to have the final judgment and resurrection after that with the sparkly stars surrounding that sticker. And then we're going to have 4 regular yellow arrows after that pointing to the celestial, terrestrial, telestial, and outer darkness. And we do need to place that outer darkness sticker there as well. I trimmed mine a little bit so it would fit better in that space. Now I take the long red line sticker and I'm going to place it from the heart to the atonement of Jesus Christ sticker. And so you can have your space like this, but I decided I wanted to add another arrow in between the atonement of Jesus Christ and physical death. So here's what I ended up doing. I added my 4th arrow to this right side to finish that off, but then I ended up moving everything over a little bit so that I can add in another arrow between the atonement of Jesus Christ and physical death. So I kind of just adjust everything by shifting it all over. As long as you do this within the first little bit of working with these stickers, you shouldn't have any problem. They should just peel right off. However, if you've let them sit there, let's say overnight or for a few hours, you went to lunch and came back, then you're not going to be able to move these without them ripping. So be sure to make your final adjustments while you're sitting down working on them before you walk away from them. And then we're going to be done with this page. Now, on my own page, I would love to go over these all with a glaze pen just to make them pop off the page a little bit more, all these stickers. But I didn't do that here because I couldn't include it in this month's kit. But that's something for you to think about if you already have that kit, that pen from a previous kit. It might be scary to do, but it might also look really awesome. Okay, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.